coronavirus week, and we're going to do some maths anyway. So far we've done fractions and decimals. So we're up to percentages. So we've got 3 exercises for that. So what I'm going to do is, I've written notes on the board. In a second I'm going to get you to copy it down, just like we normally would in a class. Once you copy down the notes, I'm going to explain it exactly like I do in class. Then I'll do examples for you, and then you've got to do the exercise. So it's exactly the same as what we do in class. However, this will be a bit quicker. It takes about 10 minutes to go through all this stuff. So I'm going to show you the notes now in a second. So what I need you to do is copy down the notes. You can pause the video at the moment, and then write down all the notes. So hopefully you've paused it, unpause it again, and here's the second page. So I've got that. Okay, so hopefully you've copied down the second board already, and here's the third one. And here's the homework, so you can copy that down as well. Okay, so hopefully you've copied all that down. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to explain it now. Nice and close. Alright, so what we're doing now is converting. We've learned about fractions and decimals, but now we're going to convert it to percentages. So hopefully you know from year 7, a percent means out of 100. The word cent means 100. So, a percentage, so example, 63% means 63 out of 100. 20% means 20 out of 100. And if you had 120%, that means 120 out of 100, which is possible, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so the gist of this is to convert a percentage to a fraction or decimal. So if you've got a percentage and you're going to get rid of the percentage, all you have to do is divide by 100, and we do that in 2 different ways. The first one, if you want to convert a percentage to a fraction, remember we divide by 100, but we're going to make it a fraction. So to divide something by 100, you go over 100. So watch this everyone, and I said and simplify. So 60% means 60 out of 100, and that's the answer, but of course we can simplify. So remember simplifying, you divide top and bottom by the same thing, so I chop a 0 off, so it equals 6 over 10. And we can still simplify that because 2 goes into both. So we divide 6 by 2 and we get 3. 10 divided by 2 and we get 3/5. So remember to convert a percentage to a fraction, divide by 100 by making it over 100. So next one, 45% means 45 over 100. That's done, but we need to simplify. 5 goes into both, so if you know your times tables, it's 9 over 20. Next one, 120%. We go 120 over 100. Remember, to get rid of the percentage, you divide by 100. Chop the zeros off. We've got 12 over 10, so we're going to make it 6 over 5. We'll leave it as an improper fraction. Next one, there's 2 different ways to do it. So I'm going to do it twice. So 12.5% means 12.5 over 100, like I've just explained. But you cannot ever leave a decimal inside a fraction. So what you need to do is somehow get rid of this decimal here. So one way to do it is to times it by 2. So you times the top and bottom by 2. Times that by 2 becomes 25. Times that by 2 becomes 200. Can you see what we've done? By multiplying that by 2, it makes it 25, so there's no decimal there anymore. So now 25 over 100, 25 is a common factor, so that becomes 1, and there's 8 25s in 200, so it's 1/8. So the other way to do it, down here, is write down 12.5 over 100. So you probably get 1 mark for that anyway. But now to simplify it, another way to do it is to get rid of the decimal, times it by 10. And you do the same to the bottom line. So you get 125 over 1,000. But now you're going to have to simplify that again, and eventually you'll get 1/8 as well. So it's the same answer, this one's just a little bit quicker. So hopefully you understand, convert a percentage to a fraction, you divide by 100 by making it over 100. Now let's do the next bit. Converting a percentage to a decimal. So remember, to get rid of a percentage, you divide by 100. But in this case, you're going to move the decimal place back 2 spots. So the decimal place is normally there, move it back 2 spots, and it's 0.72. Easy peasy. So the next one, there's decimal point, move it back 2 spots. So the answer is 0.55. 55% is 0.55. Next one, 8.5%, move it back 2 spots, but remember you're going to put a 0 there, so be careful with this one. So it's 0.085 as a decimal. And the last one, move it back 2 spots again, 150% is 1.5 as a decimal. So that means 100% as a decimal would be 1. 1.5 is 150%. So 200% would be 2 as a decimal, because you just move it 2 spots back. Alright, so we've just finished getting rid of a percentage. So to get rid of a percentage, remember, you divide by 100. As a fraction over 100, or as a decimal, divide by 100 by moving the decimal point 2 spots back. Now we're going to do the opposite, converting to a percentage. So again, all you do is multiply by 100. So these ones are a bit trickier, the fractions. So to get rid of a fraction, 3/5, times it by 100, that means times it by 100 over 1. So remember, to multiply fractions, you multiply the top line together and the bottom line. But hopefully you can see we can cancel first. So 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 100 20 times. So now it's just 3 lots of 20, which is 60 over 1. So we'll just leave it as 60 and put the percent sign in. So 3/5, if you got 3 out of 5 on a test, you got 60%. And that makes sense using common sense. Next one, 7 over 40. 7 over 40, you just times it by 100 over 1 again. And try to simplify. I'm going to chop a 0 off there and there. And 4 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2. So now we've got 7 5s are 35. Over 2 times 1 is 2. 35 divided by 2 is 17 and a half. And don't forget the percent sign. So if you got 7 out of 40 on a test, you got 17.5%. Next one, 2 1/4 as a percentage. Remember, 2 as a whole number means 200%. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either write that as 200% and then work out a quarter. Hopefully you know a quarter is 25%. So we know the answer is going to be 225%. But there's a longer way to do it. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. If you change it to 9 over 4 as an improper fraction, again times it by 100 over 1. Simplify, that becomes 1, and that goes 25. 9 lots of 25 is 225, and there's our answer. But if you can do it the shortcut way, 200% and a quarter is 25%, do it straight away. That's fine, you go straight to the answer. And the last one, 2/3 as a percentage. Hopefully you know 1/3 is 33%, 33 and a third. So 2/3 is 66 and 2/3%. You should know that straight away. But if you didn't, just go times by 100 over 1. Now multiply. That becomes 200 over 3. And 200 over 3, you have to do short division or use a calculator. And you'll get 66 and 2/3%. That's a bit of a trickier one to work out. Alright. And now we're quickly going to move on to converting decimals to percentages. And remember, again, you multiply by 100. But this one's easy. You move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. So this one becomes 45.8%. Multiply by moving it 2 spots to the right, becomes 75%. 2 spots to the right, 1.75 is 175%. 0.05, remember the blood alcohol reading for when you're driving, if you have alcohol, when you're 18 that is, 0.05, it means 5%. So people get confused with that. So 0.05, move it 2 spots to the right, 5%. And 0.9, move it 2 spots to the right, and it's actually 90%. So if you did 0.5 would be 50%, not 5%. People get that wrong. So hopefully, just to recap really quickly, to convert to a percentage, you divide by 100. As a fraction, over 100. As a decimal, divide by 100 by moving the decimal point 2 spots back. And then over here, converting to a percentage, you you just multiply by 100. If it's a fraction, it's hard. You have to go times by 100 over 1. Simplify. And as a decimal, it's really easy. You times by 100 by moving the decimal point 2 spots to the right. And that's all we've got for that. Now here's the exercise I want you to try. It's 3G, 1 to 8, try all of them, 9, 10 AC, you can read that, 12, 13 is a tricky one, have a go of it. Good luck guys, and I'll see you in like 6 months when there's no coronavirus. Bye.